and welcome to Marvel Cinematic University, where each and every week I teach Jacob something about the Marvel Cinematic Universe that he probably didn't know and still doesn't. Probably also didn't want to watch it, but I made him. This week we're talking Iron Fist. Also, I'm your Professor Alix. With me, as always, the dumbest student alive, Jacob.
Yep, I'm here, freshly fisted by
Iron? You got iron fisted?
Yeah, I don't know if... boy, what an infuriating TV show. Let me just throw that out there. I didn't... There was episodes where, I was like, okay, maybe this isn't that bad. And then something happens, and you're like... Ugh.
All right, well, if you ever want to watch a show with the same premise, but it's actually like halfway watchable, I highly recommend Arrow from the CW. The first 5 seasons, at least, is the exact same plot as this first season. Way more watchable.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
We'll watch that when we do the DC Cinematic Universe ditty.
Yeah, I mean, this show made me hate Claire Temple.
Yeah, I didn't like her in the show either, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, she really prolonged this show by about 6 episodes here.
Hey, she's been in all these. She had to get her time at some point.
She hangs out with all these superheroes, and then these guys, and then all of a sudden she finds like a moral compass kind of with these guys. Like,
well, she had a moral compass the whole time. She didn't like that Daredevil kills people, but she appreciated it.
Yeah, she just didn't appreciate it here.
I
have else on that, but I can't remember it, so we'll come back.
Yeah, I definitely remember this show completely. And until today, I completely forgot about the Meachums.
Yeah. Oh, you mean the main family here?
Yeah. I forgot they were people. So here's the thing, right? And this is what really brings Defenders down for me when we start watching Defenders, and I'm like, oh, this season of Iron Fist and the first season of Defenders really blend as the same show in my brain.
I could see that as a very real possibility.
Because there's Madame Gao.
That's like the biggest redeeming quality of the show, is it does kind of link a lot of stuff together.
Well, good news. She may or may not be your main villain in Defenders.
Oh, I wouldn't have guessed that. It's just like a lot of these shows just have such a carbon copy. It's like, or like a cardboard cutout for them. It's like, all right, traumatic childhood, superpowers, villain connected to the hand, hero gets wounded, Claire Temple heals them. We capture the bad guy in about episode 8 or 9, and then somehow they get away. Instead of we just kill them and then it's over with. We kill the bad guy, now they can heal mysteriously. Why did we not cut off heads at this point? I don't know.
So, you figured out how Netflix was able to make 4 of these within the span of 2 years.
Yeah, I forgot these were all Netflix shows, so actually makes a lot of sense.
Copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste.
Yeah. New characters, same villain, sort of.
Like throw in Claire Temple for an episode or 2.
Yeah, give her like 2 or 3 episodes, and she patches up a couple 2-3 people in some kind of dark, dingy space or basement, or they go find a scientist somewhere in some God knows where warehouse.
And also, don't forget, somebody mentions the incident at least once or twice, so that you're reminded that this exists in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And so that you'll be forced to watch the next show that comes out.
Yeah, I think it was the first episode. They were like, or it might have been like the 4th or 5th, but they were like, "Oh yeah, well you'll make front news of the paper now instead of that green guy." And I'm like, "Oh, there it is. We're connected." There she is.
I believe that was the first episode. I have a bunch of connections here. This week I don't really have ones that will be repeated. I think I was able to mainly space it out. Though there is one that's going to frustrate you a little bit. Anyway, right. I guess we should get into the information about this Iron Fist guy. So Iron Fist, we watched season 1. Well, you watched season 1. I couldn't bring myself to watch that again.
Yeah, I can't blame you.
It was released on March 17th, 2017. It stars Finn Jones, Jessica Stroot, Jessica Henwick, Alice Eve, and Tom Pelfrey. It takes place
from Lord of the Rings.
And who?
Faramir from Lord of the Rings.
Oh right, yeah, he's in this too.
Yeah.
And this takes place I think a month or two after Luke Cage. So sometime around that Luke Cage guy.
It seems like a generous time.
Luke Cage is already in jail by this point.
Yeah. Claire Temple mentions he's temporarily unavailable.
Yeah, you can't get to him.
Nope.
All right, and the episode.
I'm sorry, but I would be remiss if I didn't say I thought Claire Temple was going to make a run at Iron Fist here. Really go for the hat trick.
Yeah, no, it would make sense. And then in Defenders, when she sees all three of them, she's like, "Ooh, this is awkward."
Boy.
I'll probably end up watching Defenders with you because I don't remember what happened in Defenders at all. I just remember there's one good scene.
Look, I mean, we'll get into this, but I also just want to mention that, between, I think it was episodes 6 and 10, I was like, all right, this might be better than Daredevil. And it's if they just had those couple episodes there, it's pretty good.
Like I said, you'll notice that all the season 2s are about 8 episodes long.
Well, I wonder why, because they could have cut all these down to about 8 episodes.
So the complaint that you have is the complaint that everybody had when these came out is that they were too long. But here, let me just run down these episodes for you so you know what the episodes we're talking about are.
Yeah, go ahead and run them down for me.
We got Snow Gives Way, Shadowhawk Takes Flight, Rolling Thunder Cannon Punch, 8 Diagram Dragon Palm, Underleaf Pluck Lotus.
That's my favorite.
Underleaf Pluck Lotus?
Yeah.
Immortal Emerges from Cave.
Kind of on the nose, but okay.
Felling Tree with Roots. The Blessing of Many Fractures. The Mistress of All Agonies. Black Tiger Steals Heart. Lead Horse Back to Stable. Bar the Big Boss. Dragon Plays with Fire.
Do you have any connection with these names, or?
So I officially couldn't find anything, but my best guess was they're all martial arts moves.
That's kind of what I was thinking, but I'm trying to figure out how Immortal Emerges from Cave is a martial art move.
When you bring your dead father back to life and he emerges from a cave,
or a swamp.
Yeah. Then you have that move, I think.
Okay, I can see it.
Yeah, so I guess we should just get right on into this, because I can't imagine we want to spend a long time talking about this show.
I think we can bang this out in about 10 minutes.
Right.
Short episode, guys. Sorry.
Episode 1, Snow Gives Way. Directed by...
describe this episode.
Alright, go for it.
So Danny Rand comes back from the hidden nation of Condom, and it's about 45 minutes of him sleeping in the streets.
I hate how accurate that is, and I hate that you've now called Kunlun Condom. The nation of Condom. He's come back from Condom. I mean, I honestly don't even need to read this. I don't think you pretty much got the entire episode.
That's the entire first episode.
You forgot about the Meachums.
Oh, yeah, they kick him out, so he's back to sleeping on the streets. Oh, and then he meets Colleen Wang, and she kicks him out, actually, and now he's back to sleeping on the streets.
It's actually Colleen Wing.
Wing, yeah. Bird Wing.
Right. Let's do this the old-fashioned way. After being presumed dead for 15 years, when his family were the victims of a plane crash in the Himalayas, Danny Rand decides to live the same exact life that Oliver Queen lived when he was perceived dead for 5 years on an island after his father died in a boat crash. It's literally the same story. Danny Rand returns to New York City and goes to Rand Enterprises to meet with Harold Meacham, the partner of Danny's now dead father, Wendell. Danny is turned away by security, but uses martial arts to fight his way to Harold's children, Ward and Joy.
Grant Ward?
Grant Ward? Oh my god, any relation? That's how first names work, right?
Yeah, first and last names, always relation.
The Meachums reveal that Harold has been dead for years and do not believe that Danny is who he says he is. Danny is also turned down by Colin Wing, who he wishes to work for at her newly opened dojo. The Meachums believe that Danny's appearance is a ploy by their rivals to create a leadership struggle ahead of their planned expansion to China, and Ward hires mercenaries to kill Danny. A simple business plan. Wing witnesses him overpower them. Ward meets with Harold, who had faked his death, and considers the possibility that Danny survived the plane crash. Danny attempts to tell Joy about Ward's actions, but she drugs him and has him institutionalized. After spending the main part of this episode on the streets.
I mean, I summarized that pretty good.
I think you did. But you did what you didn't include is all the connections that I have for this episode.
Oh yeah,
all one of them. It
wouldn't be a first episode of these last 4 series if we didn't just include every single Marvel connection in the first episode to let you know it is in fact part of the Marvel universe.
I will say this one only had one small one. It's not until the next episode that we get into the big ones.
Oh, okay, they waited this time.
Al gives Danny a sandwich from the deli on Bleecker. Bleecker Street is where the New York Sanctum Sanctorum is located, in Doctor Strange, which we'll learn about in a couple of weeks. When we can start watching movies again.
Oh my god.
I put you through hell, and for that, it just brings me fucking joy. Episode 2, Shadowhawk Take Flight. I can see the misery in your eyes because you just finished watching the last 2 episodes, and it just brings delight to my soul.
It's like when they name these, are like, pick an animal and an action.
Yeah, you know, my favorite animal, Rolling Thunder, Cannon Punch.
Beaver Iron Fist.
Episode 2, Shadowhawk Takes Flight. Danny is assigned to psychiatrist Paul Edmonds, to whom Danny reiterates his true identity. Harold watches Danny through the hospital surveillance system and sends Ward to offer Wing money in exchange for her testimony against Danny. She refuses after talking to Danny in the hospital. Harold secretly visits Danny and learns that Danny has become the Iron Fist, and sworn enemy of the Hand. Danny is able to convince Joy of his identity, but Ward is not convinced. Danny explains to Edmonds that following the plane crash, he has saved by 2 monks and taken to Kunlun, or as Jake likes to call it, Condom. Another dimension that is connected to the Earth periodically. We may learn more about these extra dimensionals later on in the future.
Oh boy.
There might be a bunch of magical ones that just happen to exist. It was there that he trained in martial arts and gained the power of the Iron Fister. Edmonds is not convinced and diagnoses Danny as suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. Harold asks Ward to move Danny to a safe place where he can be useful, but Ward instead orders his men disguised as patients at the hospital to kill Danny. The latter uses the power of the Iron Fister to overpower them and escape.
I'm a big fan of your amendment to his name.
I mean, what are you doing when you're punching somebody? You're fisting them.
You're fisting them.
Yeah, exactly. There's quite some stuff in this episode. Let me start with the funnest of facts. Huh?
Fist me with the connections.
Well, I'm going to actually start with the fun facts first.
Fist me with those two. Double fisting.
Danny Rand and Joy Meacham separating the brown M&Ms from the other colors may be a reference to a famous story regarding the rock band Van Halen. During the 1980s, the band had a strange request as part of their tour rider asking for M&Ms with all of the brown ones removed.
You know what that means? It is highly theorized. Get your shirts. Link in bio.
All right. Fun fact number 2. Harold Meacham, his name in Ward's phone is Frank N. Stein. Like Frank, the letter N, and then the last name Stein.
Mm-hmm.
David Wenham, who's portraying Harold in this show, starred in Van Helsing 2004 with Hugh Jackman, in which they encountered Frankenstein on numerous occasions.
Or maybe it's because he died and came back to life.
No, this is the Marvel Universe. You're so silly. Everyone does that.
Oh, right.
Fucking Danny did that.
Except the hammer guy in this show.
One of the characters mentions the incident, referring to a point in time after which there were more people claiming to have superpowers. The incident refers to the Chitauri invasion of New York in The Avengers, 2012. You may have heard of it. We did that about 6 months ago. Yeah, that's the connections, I'm pretty sure. Episode 3. Rolling Thunder Cannon Punch. My favorite animal, Rolling Thunder.
That's definitely a move.
In his martial arts training at Condom, the young Danny survived brutal treatment at the hands of the monks. Now the mysterious Madame Gao punishes Harold for leaving his secret penthouse to visit Danny. Wing is attacked by Ward's security personnel, whom she overpowers before giving shelter to Danny. He also visits Joy again, and she offers him money to change his identity and leave. Danny refuses and meets with his family lawyer, Jerry Hogarth, who looks pretty familiar, because she promises to reclaim his identity in exchange for a permanent contract between her firm and Rand Enterprises.
A good deal.
Yeah, no, Jerry Hogarth, she's working.
Shrewd businesswoman.
Honestly, one of my favorite characters from this entire saga thing.
Yeah.
I hope she comes back. After attacking an impolite student at Wing's dojo, Danny is forced to stay elsewhere and is gifted the use of an apartment by Hogarth. The lawyer uses fingerprint evidence to prove Danny's identity to Joy and Ward, and promise to present it in court if they stop Danny from retaking his family's company. Deducing that Harold is alive, Danny follows Ward and climbs up the side of the penthouse, but is pushed off it. Harold forces Ward to buy a specific pier, which he does, with help from Joy. You know what I remember about this show? That nothing happens in every single fucking episode.
Literally nothing. That's what I'm saying. These first 3 episodes could have been one, kind of action-packed episode.
Nothing happens in this show at all.
No, it's and I feel like there's almost kind of a lot of loose ends.
At least in Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage, there's a clear villain and a strategy to go against that villain, and they're actually pretty cool. I fucking hate the Meachums.
Yeah, without Ward, this show is about 3 episodes long.
Well, Ward's actually in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Ward Meachum.
Wait, why is Ward meeting Ward Meachum?
Meachum.
All right, here are my fun facts for this episode. The coil pot Danny Rand gave Joy Meachum for her birthday is colored yellow and green, the same as Iron Fist's costume in the comics. Classic Marvel Comics monsters from the 1950s and 60s are seen as stickers underneath Rand's office desk, like Magnog and Orgo.
Why didn't they have their own Netflix TV show? It's probably better than this one.
Probably because
Where's
they need
Squirrel Girl?
She has a canceled ABC Family TV show. We don't talk about that. It was going to be the girl from AT&T.
I know. She would have been a good Squirrel Girl.
When Colleen starts fighting, she names herself the Daughter of the Dragon. In Marvel Comics, Colleen and Misty Knight from the Netflix series Luke Cage are best friends who start a private investigation business together. Due to Wing's samurai-style training and both partners' expertise in Asian martial arts, they were dubbed the Daughters of the Dragon. So there was
Misty Knight ever make an appearance in this show?
I don't think so. She might be in season 2. There were heavy rumors that they were going to have a spin-off show before Netflix lost the right to make any more Disney shows.
Oh, I wonder why they lost that right.
Well, that's because Disney Plus came into play.
Disney's like, oh, we got to do something about this.
We got to make an entire streaming service to make these shows go away.
Literally.
Yeah, that was all the connections I had, or the fun facts. The connections, though, are just one. Hogarth from Jessica Jones and Daredevil makes an appearance in this episode. Now, you might be saying, wait, she wasn't in Daredevil. She was in Daredevil season 2, which happens before this, but we didn't watch it yet.
We forgot.
Well, yeah, and I said, I'm not going to make Jake watch that because he's watched enough shows.
Oh, thank God. You're a saint.
And you're not going to want to watch a show for a while after Defenders and after
Probably
this.
Yeah.
All right. Episode 4. Rolling... oh, wait, no. We already did that one. 8 Diagram Dragon Palm.
Is this episode 5 or 4?
4.
Ah, jeez, we're only on 4. I feel like nothing's happened yet.
Yeah. After falling unconscious, Danny wakes up in the penthouse. Harold explains that the cancer which he died from was secretly cured by the Hand, who demanded his loyalty in return and allowed him to reveal the true only to Ward. Now, Jake, last week we mentioned another character that was also cured by cancer. Or cured magically from cancer. We started talking about an episode, I think it was 6, called Manifest. There was this little boy who went on a plane. 5 years later, he came back and he no longer had cancer. It was crazy.
Oh, connected.
When I edited that episode, I may have used footage from Manifest while we were describing that episode.
I would have never known that because I don't watch these.
I know.
Not because they're trash, it's because I hate my own voice.
Yeah, everyone. That's why nobody watches this.
Yeah.
Harold asks Danny to destroy the hand in order to free him, but Danny says he can't because he is a fist, and fists are made from hands.
Holds water.
He also orders Ward to accept Danny's return to the company, where his return is announced in a press conference. At a board meeting, Danny uses his position as the majority shareholder to enforce his decision to cheaply sell a newly developed drug in order to save more lives. At his apartment, Joy is attacked and wounded by Triad operatives, whom Danny overpowers. He takes her to Wing's dojo before confronting the Triad leader, Yang Hao King, who holds a grudge against Joy for taking the pier. However, he stands down when Danny reveals the involvement of the hand. As a reward for securing the pier, the hand allows Harold to remotely observe Joy. He sees that she has been wounded and kills the Triad member responsible.
Now let me ask you this here. Do you think if this is like episode 14 and Danny Rand gets control of Rand Enterprises here and walks into that board meeting because in my opinion, Danny kind of has like everyone's sort of good minus the hand mentality here, and he's not like he's not used to people betraying him because we'll see that in future episodes. We kind of see that like he gets very
a child
when people don't tell him the truth. Yeah, he's basically a child.
He was gone for 15 years, making him literally 5 mentally.
Yeah. And he actually acts like 5 mentally. He throws temper tantrums quite often.
Oh, they make sure you know that he's 5 mentally.
So do you like think that if there was an episode 14, he walks into that board meeting and they're like, I think we should upcharge this drug for $50 per pill instead of $5. Do you think he just lets that slide because he's like, you know what? These people can they can suck it up and pay for it. Let me get revenge on the whole world here.
I feel like that's what season 2 is about. I never saw season 2, but I can only imagine that's what season 2 is about.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch season 2 with you. No, I don't like that.
Oh boy.
All right. Fun facts. 8 diagram dragon palm. After interviewing Ward for the Daily Bulletin, reporter Jennifer Minnie places a phone call to Ellison, asking him not to give the front page of the next day's paper to Karen. Oh wait, this is actually a connection. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Karen Page took a job as a reporter for the Bulletin during season 2 of Daredevil, and Mitchell Ellison is the editor-in-chief of the newspaper.
I figured.
I guess we'll just finish up connections at this point. Jim Pierce, the second fighter to get in the ring with Colleen Wing, was previously seen in the ER of the hospital in Daredevil. Foggy Nelson helped negotiate a truce when he and another gang member got into a fight.
Foggy, good guy, Foggy.
Good guy, Foggy. That guy gets the shit end of the deal.
Yeah, one of the few redeeming qualities of that show.
Fun facts. Colleen Wing fights a man named Jimmy Pierce. Pierce appears in Punisher comics as vigilante named the Hitman.
Oh.
Because he does a lot of hitting.
Of men.
Well, and women. In the Italian and German dubbings of the episode, Ward Meacham mentions Spider-Man when he compares Danny Rand's scaling of a building instead of Daredevil.
It's much more accurate.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, only German and Italian man. Let's get through this thing a little faster, shall we? Episode 5, Underleaf Pluck Lotus. A new synthetic heroin appears in New York, which Danny connects to the hand, because they love giving out heroin and cocaine or whatever else they gave in Daredevil. After a chemical factory owned by Rand Enterprises linked to cancer, Danny personally apologizes for the cancer. and is recorded by a lawyer who distributes it to the media. In a board meeting that Danny is absent from, Ward convinces the shareholders to stand against the accusations instead of accepting responsibility. However, the anxiety of always being watched by Harold causes Ward to try new heroin. I forgot he did the heroin. Danny convinced... Yeah, why not? Danny convinces Wing to help him infiltrate the pier, where they find containers apparently loaded with normal supplies. Inside one, he discovers Radovan, the chemist who was forced to create the heroin, as the Hand held his daughter hostage. Danny fights off a guard to free Radovan, but the latter is stabbed by the guard. At Wing's dojo, student Claire Temple is able to provide aid as a former nurse with expertise working alongside powered heroes. What fucking luck. Wing vows to help Danny defeat the Hand, while Gao kills the guards for failing.
Wow. It's almost like the Hand kidnapped another child of someone of interest. It's almost like we've never seen that before.
I think it might have happened in season 1 of Daredevil.
Oh, no, really? That's crazy.
Yeah. Actually, that might have been the Russians, but they were connected with the Hand, so... Anyway, here are your fun facts.
It's a different finger.
Huh?
It's a different finger of the same hand. Well, where'd your finger go?
I iron fisted it out.
Attaboy.
During the takeout meal with Colleen and Claire, Danny mentions his friend Davos. In the comics, this is the alter ego of Iron Fister's arch nemesis, Steel Serpent.
Kind of a big bag.
Well, you gotta fist the serpent.
I get where he's coming from. He did basically lose the job of Iron Fist to the worst Iron Fist of all time with a 5-year-old mentality. Imagine losing that.
I feel like Davos would have been a better Iron Fist.
You think? He never would have left the city of Condom.
Now it's unprotected.
Yeah, because they chose Danny Rand to be the Iron Fister. I have to watch 13 hours of a TV show that lost me brain cells.
I feel like my joke went right over your head.
I didn't hear it. Repeat.
You said he left the city of Condom, and I said, yeah, now it's unprotected.
Oh, yeah. And I think it got fucked.
With her appearance in this episode, Rosario Dawson, Claire Temple, became the only actress who appeared in all Marvel Netflix TV series so far. Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist.
She keeps running into these guys.
That's pretty fucking crazy.
That's wild.
And my connections.
Okay.
I don't have any connections other than Claire Temple shows up. And that wasn't anything of note. Episode 6. A mortal emerges from cave. Wonder what'll happen here.
Enlighten me.
Joy convinces Ward to throw away the drugs he's using. Bad, Ward. Bad. No drugs.
Bad boy.
Danny and Ward start searching Rand Warehouse for clues as to the Hand's operation, and find that severed head of Radovan's guard as a message challenging Danny to combat. Kinda weird they didn't include his hand. Danny sends Ward to deal with a crisis management meeting about the video of his apology while Danny accepts the challenge. Danny will fight to free Radovan's daughter Sabina and leave his company to the Hand's machinations if he loses. Danny faces Andrai and Grigol Venzikov, the Bride of Nine Spiders, and Scythe, besting them all in turn, while the spiritual help of the Condom mentor, Lei Kong. However, that's a lot of names at once just thrown at me. However, Danny refuses to kill Scythe as Lei Kong orders. Gao frees Sabina, reveals that she has been to Condom and knew Wendell, and easily overpowers Danny telekinetically. Radovan's conditions become critical, forcing Temple and Wing to take him to a hospital where he is abducted by the Hand. Oh, somebody getting abducted by the Hand at a hospital? Never heard of that one before.
Mm-hmm.
Ward goes into withdrawal at the meeting and is only stopped from causing further trouble by Joy.
Yeah, the old Hand hospital. This is another thing about Claire Temple, too. Like, at this point, this is her 4th superhero. And the same things happened in, like, the previous 3 series. And she just keeps running right into these traps. She's also seen police corruption in all 3 previous series. And she keeps saying, let's call the police.
Well, you see, She hasn't learned her lesson.
Yeah. She said Sweet Christmas a ton of times, but, you know, I think at some point when you see that much corruption from the previous 3 series and superheroes you've dealt with, maybe at some point you let someone lop a head off here.
Just let him lop the head off.
Yeah. Cut that off the snake.
Well, if you cut it off a Hydra, 2 more will grow.
Well, these are not Hydra, I don't think.
No, I'm pretty sure they're not. Okay. A mortal emerges from cave. Fun facts. Alessa's lab number is B09S. This is a reference to her comic book alias, the Bride of Nine Spiders. The character Scythe, played by David Sakurai, is actually the first real supervillain Iron Fist ever faced in the comics, from his second appearance in Marvel Premiere.
Oh.
Danny Rand describes himself as a weapon. This is a homage to the Iron Man comic, The Living Weapon.
Homage?
Homage.
Homage.
Homage. That's what I said.
First try.
Whole time. Here's the connection, Jake. Claire says Luke Cage's catchphrase, "Sweet Christmas."
I said that.
Yep, you did say that. No, I didn't want to give you credit.
Nice of you to summarize it for me.
Yeah, you got it, boss. Episode 7. Felling Trees with Roots. 2 hand operatives integrate Harold, a left hand and a right hand, who fights them off with Danny's help. That joke was funnier to me than it should have been. Harold kills them and has Ward dump the bodies in a river. Why is this so funny? This show sucks. Danny begins to develop a romantic relationship with Wing and starts investigating his father. Gao arrives at Rand Enterprises, advising Danny to stay out of her way. Danny sees her discussing business with a Rand employee, and later convinces the latter to leave the city and give him her password. Danny and Wing persuade Yang to help them fight the Hand, while Joy convinces Ward to take a break from the company. In a board meeting, Danny announces his decision to close the Staten Island plant while keeping the workers on payroll. The board decides to oust Danny, Ward, and Joy. Danny, Wing, and Yang operatives attack a Hand facility and find a dying Radovan. He reveals that Gao has gone to Anzhou, China, which is where the Rands were going when their plane crashed. Harold discovers Ward's plan to leave and take his money. Ward confronts his father and kills him, dumping his body in the river, as one does.
As one does.
I'm glad he was able to survive the first time.
Yeah. See, like, the whole time, like, Ward's driving high on heroin, he's freaking out. His father was like, they're either going to be found by the Hand or the police. Those bodies are never mentioned again. Not really, I guess.
Well, they were found by nobody.
What I really thought was going to happen, I guess props to them for, like, going with a much simpler timeline here, and throwing me off the trail, was that the cops were going to pull up behind Ward and, like, arrest him for murder, and then we'd have to deal with that whole situation.
Yeah, don't you want to see him in Seagate Prison?
Yeah. And Danny's like, oh no, my friend's in Seagate Prison with the Hand. I have to go break into the prison and free him.
But then you get to see Kingpin, what's his face, Mr. Hammer, and the Trevor guy.
Yeah.
And also Luke Cage.
Yeah. Just a thought.
Continue. That'd be a fun episode.
Yeah, would have been better.
They should make a Marvel short about that jail.
Be better than this.
Almost like they did. Fun facts: Mistress of all agonies. This is the only episode in the show where all main characters, including Claire Temple, appear in the same episode. Harold asks, "Who the hell is Frank Robbins?" Frank Robbins was an illustrator for Marvel. At one point, he did art for Power Man, who you may not know is Luke Cage, a fellow Defender.
Continue.
I snuck it in here. I got it. I got it in here.
Onward.
Oh. All right. Connections. What is this episode called? The Felling Tree? This is Felling Tree, right? Yeah.
Felling the tree with roots.
Daredevil and Luke Cage are mentioned as the Devil of Hell's Kitchen and the Man with Unbreakable Skin by Madame Gao. Harold Meacham mentions Roxxon. Sophia tells Madame... You're not allowed to make that joke anymore. Sophia tells Madame Gao the Dogs of Hell will be using Ran trucks to deliver to the south. The Dogs of Hell and their participation in the drug trade figures prominently in Daredevil Season 2, and is also mentioned in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2. So, there's your Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. connection.
You know how they got so good at Kung Fu and Karate?
How?
They did the rocks on, rocks off move a lot.
Episode 8, The Blessing of Many Fathers, Fractures.
Many fathers fractures?
Well, you see, the fifth word in this next sentence is father, and I was looking at that, okay?
Okay, reading ahead, I like it. Continue.
Danny deduces that his father was going to Anzhou to shut down Gao's operation, but their plane was targeted by her on the way, with the hand poisoning the pilots. Danny, Wing, and Temple travel to Anzhou themselves, where they acquire information from a nearby beggar. This show sucks. They infiltrate the hand facility there as Gao arrives. Danny engages with the drunken Zhao Shang, who has been training to fight the students of Lei Kung.
Danny almost in the entire series, by the way.
Zhao Shang, yeah.
Just a boozed up guard who can do kung fu and actually give Danny a run for his money.
Is that who you want to be in your life?
That's my idol.
You want to be Zhao Cheng?
Yeah, I want to be Zhao Cheng.
Well, Danny almost beats Cheng to death until the intervention of Temple and Wing. Gao and her men engage the trio, and Danny is able to use the power of the Iron Fister to best them and capture Gao. The board offers Ward and Joy a severance deal to help convince them to leave, and the desperate Ward attempts to accept it. Joy refuses for the pair of them and hires a private investigator to find evidence that she can use to blackmail the board members and allow them to stay on. Learning of this, Ward decides to tell Joy about Harold and take her to the penthouse, but changes his mind due to the guilt of killing their father.
This is like one thing I don't understand about the show, so maybe you can enlighten me.
I'm sure I can. I'm sure it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So Danny's like, his whole mission is to like basically kill the hand. However, he just like doesn't do it, but he's still like committed to his mission. But like he doesn't kill anyone from the hand. Like at all.
Well, you see, right? So in the Defenders, he'll let Daredevil do all the work. Let's see. Do I have any more connections or fun facts? What episode was this?
7.
This is Blessing of Many Fathers, I remember.
Yes.
The letter that Claire reads in the beginning is from Seagate Penitentiary, which reads, uncensored inmate mail, and has the name Lucas on it. The letter comes from Luke Cage, whose birth name was Carl Lucas, and who was imprisoned at Seagate. And then we also have Joy shows Ward surveillance photos of Rand board members caught doing illicit activities. She mentions that she hired a private investigator to obtain the photos and remarks how good the PI was when she was sober. The PI in question is Jessica Jones!
Jessica!
Honestly, the only watchable show in this group of shows, I think.
I would have to agree with that. Like you said, it had like a similar plot, but it was different enough because there was like one villain and we could like get behind it. There wasn't just like a consistent plot twist around every corner that just left tons of things unanswered.
And unlike Daniel Rand over here, Jessica Jones had a fucking personality.
Yeah, for real.
All right, where are we? Mistress of All Agonies, is that the next episode?
Yeah, sure.
Yes. Danny takes Gao to Wing's dojo, where Temple suggests they use truth serum to force her to talk. Danny steals some from Rand Enterprises, and Gao begins to talk about Danny's parents before revealing that she is lying and can resist the influence of the serum. Wing reveals to the others that she was poisoned in Anzhou and contacts her mentor Bakuto. Gao's operatives attack the dojo, but are defeated, and Bakuto soon arrives. He teaches Danny how to use the powers of the Iron Fister to heal Wing.
She really fisted her.
Oh!
Oh!
Brought her back to life.
Yeah?
Before taking Wing, Danny and Gao away. Meanwhile, Harold reawakens from death and over several hours regains relatively normal mental functions. Oh, it's crazy. It's almost like he exists in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Can't die.
He finds Ward at the Pat House and feigns absolution. Ward learns from Yang that those revived by the hand become more psychotic after each revival and attack those closest to them first. Harold kills his assistant Kyle and places heroin in Ward's car to frame him. Ward is given to the care of Edmonds at the psychiatric hospital while Joy reunites with Harold at the Pat House.
Should have just titled this episode Harold walks around the streets of New York for 15 minutes.
Harold does shit.
Harold hot dog water.
Harold pulls a Captain America.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Fun facts. This is the only episode in the show. Wait, turns out I may have read these fun facts by accident earlier.
Oh, that happens.
So, I'll just read them again. This is the only episode in the show where all the main characters, including Claire Temple, appear in the same episode. So the other one that I said that was incorrect. And then Harold asks, who the hell is Frank Robbins? Frank Robbins was an illustrator for Marvel. At one point, he did art for Power Man, who you may not know is Luke Cage, a fellow actor. That was this episode, not the episode that I said that.
I know you made a mistake, but it's just crazy that it was on that one.
I'm so happy it was that one.
Out of all the ones you could have made a mistake on, it was that one.
I think I might have just been so excited to say that fun fact.
I know. You're like, let's shoehorn it into episode 4.
All right. In the connections here, in the final moments of the episode, Claire utters the phrase, "Sweet Christmas." This is a phrase often used by Luke Cage.
I didn't know that. I thought that was her own.
Yeah, it's the second time she uses that. It's kind of crazy.
Mm.
Episode 10. Wow, there's still 4 episodes left. God. Oh, I bet nothing happens.
Not much happens.
Well, you know, unlike Luke Cage, at least fucking Danny Rand didn't have a bullet in him for 4 episodes.
Yeah, that's actually fair. That's very fair.
Danny wakes up at academy run by Bakuto, who teaches him how to recharge his chi. Danny grows suspicious and infiltrates a restricted area where he learns from an imprisoned Gao that Bakuto is a hand leader himself. Danny confronts Wing, who insists that their faction of the hand is good, and in opposition to Gao's bad faction. Bakuto visits Harold and offers a partnership. Danny learns that Bakuto's hand is conducting mass surveillance and attempts to escape from the academy. He is aided in this by his childhood friend Davos. Bakuto stabs Danny with an unknown object before he and Davos fight their way to the academy gates. Danny is now unable to summon the power of the Iron Fister to open the gate, but Wing is able to open it and offers a distraction to allow the duo to escape. Davos tells Danny that they must return to Condom. Acting on Joy's blackmail material, Harold kills a member of the board but stages it as suicide and denies his involvement to Joy. She convinces the board to reinstate the Meachums and Danny. So, nothing happened.
I mean, I guess you could say Danny was, for some reason, untrusting of the guy who just saved him. So he decided to go snooping and found something he didn't like.
Yeah.
Even though you could actually make a case. This finger of the hand is more so the good guy of this entire show.
Yeah, the finger. I mean, when you're getting iron fisted, sometimes the finger seems like a hero.
Yeah, yeah. You know, this Bakuto guy, he's taking kids off the street, giving them good jobs. So what if they're part of a kind of weird fist?
Good job selling heroin. You know, every kid off the street needs a good job selling heroin.
Well, these kids aren't selling the heroin.
That's true. But
they're just getting good jobs and becoming good members of society. And Danny Rand's like, no, you can't do that. I'm from Condom. I must stop the fist. But not kill the fist, just stop them somehow.
I'm from Condom. I must stop children.
Well, that's what he's trying to do here, actually.
All right. Well, here's some fun.
Some children like a condom.
Here's some fun facts. The original Iron Fist costume is seen in this episode, just not on Danny Rand. It is seen in the grainy black and white footage from Japan, 1948, on the previous Iron Fist. Brief glimpses of the bandana are shown. When Bakuto talks to Danny Rand about the Girl Scout, he incorrectly states their motto is "Be prepared." This is actually the Boy Scouts motto. And then no connection. So let's just fucking wait. No, that's 11. So let's just fucking run through this because I am so done with the show at this point.
Yep.
Episode 11. Lead horse back to stable. Danny refuses to return to Condom until the hand is destroyed. and Davos questions his motives. He and Davos visit Temple, where she is able to remove the shrapnel of Bakuto's weapon from Danny's wound, but does not have the antibiotics required to control the infection. Wing arrives and tries to reason with Danny. She tries to prove her feelings for him by using her connection to a hand member at a hospital to get antibiotics for his wound. Danny goes to the penthouse, where Joy has discovered that Bakuto has been transferring Rand Enterprises' money to his own account. Harold decides to kill Bakuto and formulates a plan to flush him and his operatives out of compound by having Joy freeze their accounts. Danny agrees to help Harold kill Bakuto, but Joy is against this. The hand captures Wing and takes her to the compound, where Danny and Davos wait for Bakuto to emerge. Wing frees herself, escapes, and Danny rushes to her rather than waiting for Bakuto, revealing his feelings for her to Davos. Let's all make dumb mistakes. That's what this episode should have been called.
This one, yeah, just, you know what? Nothing really happened once again.
Here's your enough to have two connections.
Okay.
When Colleen drops off the pizza for Claire, a banner behind them says New Harlem Renaissance. This is a reference to Mariah Dillard's project seen in Luke Cage 2016 to improve Harlem for its people, especially the black community. The shirt that Claire gives Danny has a hole in its chest, suggesting it belongs to Luke Cage, as he gets shot there often.
He must have found it in one of the trash bins.
Also,
I mentioned Colleen Wing does in fact get kidnapped by the hand at a hospital.
Who would ever think somebody would? You know what? I'm not going into any hospitals in New York. If I'm in New York and half dying, do not take me to a hospital. I do not want to be kidnapped by the hand.
No, let me just toss me in the Hudson.
That might be worse. I might rather be kidnapped. Episode 12, Bar the Big Boss. Ward escapes the hospital and goes to the penthouse where he tries to get Joy away from the Herald. Bakuto and his operatives arrive
From
with the
the
former...
Herald?
I'm reading fast, okay?
We should have been referring him as the Herald the entire time.
Bakuto and his operatives arrive with the former shooting Joy and giving Danny half an hour to arrive at the penthouse to save the Meachums. Against Davos' I gotta read this at normal speed, it's hard to read fast. Against Davos' objections, Danny decides to go and arrive before Bakuto can decapitate the Herald, which would kill him for good. Danny uses the power of the Iron Fister to fight off the Herald and the hand operatives as Davos and Wing arrive to help. Wing confronts Bakuto, overpowering him but refusing to kill him. Danny also refuses, but Davos does it. An enraged Danny attacks Davos and defeats him, but spares him. Davos reveals his jealousy that Danny was chosen to be the Iron Fist, and his rage that Danny abandoned the sacred duty of the Iron Fister to protect Condom. Davos leaves. Danny and Wing fight Bakuto's body, missing. The Herald and Ward take Joy to a hospital. That's not good. The next day, wonder what's going to happen to Joy in that hospital.
Anyone's guess.
The next day, Ward warns Danny that he has been set up by Herald, just as DEA agents arrive at the dojo. Danny and Wing fight them off and escape. I don't think I have anything for this episode, so let's just fucking continue.
Onward.
Dragon plays with fire. The Herald takes control of Rand Enterprises. Danny and Wing go to the academy, now abandoned by the Hand, where Gao reveals that the Herald masterminded the plane crash that killed Danny's parents. Ward tells Joy about the Herald's actions, and she confronts him about it. The Herald denies framing Danny and Joy, decide to leave. Ward allies with Danny. Wing and Temple to defeat the Herald. He goes to Rand Enterprises, where he is wounded by the Herald, but is able to find evidence of Danny's innocence. Wow, Herald has said a lot in this paragraph. Temple creates a distraction so that Danny and Wing can infiltrate the building, and the pair is able to fight off the Herald's operatives. Danny follows the Herald to the rooftop, where they fight. Ward arrives and shoots the Herald, who falls from the building to his real death. Ward has the body cremated to ensure he does not return.
I guess that works.
I don't know. I mean, we got a blender man over here.
Yeah, I mean...
That's just brick oven, man.
They said cut off his head. I don't know why at this point we are still not cutting off heads. I don't know why Madame Gao's head is still on her body. That's crazy to me. We had a sword in the same room as her. Could have been done very easily. But no, we leave her around because we have to make 25 more seasons of this.
Well, thank God there's only one more season of this. And Madame Gao isn't in the second season of this.
That's absolutely wild to me. Maybe it's because of the Defenders, but...
Oh. Yeah, at least one of the heroes in this fucking city knows what to do with her. And let me tell you, it's not the Iron Fister.
I didn't think it would be. If I had to guess, it's either Jessica or Daredevil.
It's actually Kilgrave. He comes back to life and says, hey, cut off your own head, and she does it.
I believe it. 100%. I believe it.
How mad would you be if I told you that Kilgrave is in at least 5 episodes of season 2 of Jessica Jones?
It better be as flashbacks.
Joy meets with Davos, who tells her that Danny must be killed. This is overheard by Cal. Danny convinces Wing to accompany him to Condom, but they arrive at the gates to find it shut off from the Earth and surrounded by dead hand operatives. And that is the end of the fucking show.
Fire merch. Link in bio. Follow us on social media.
Wait, I still got fun facts and connections for this episode.
Oh, okay.
There is an NYPD poster with Stanley on it that reads, "Be proud," right when Claire hands Jerry Hogarth the $5 bill.
You know how they found all these connections in like the background of what was actually happening?
It's because they weren't watching what was happening.
Exactly.
Femby Wallace makes an appearance on a news report in this episode. She previously appeared in multiple episodes of Luke Cage. And that's it. We're done. This show sucks. We do have to have the honor of ranking this among all the show or everything we've watched so far. So let me just go ahead and pull that up because I forgot to pull that up at the beginning of the episode. So as the list stands right now, we have in first place Guardians of the Galaxy. The list isn't popping up. I just knew that off the top of my head. Episode 1. Episode 1. We're going to start again. So number 1, we got Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 2, Winter Soldier. Avengers, Iron Man, Captain America in Memoriam Blenderman, Ant-Man, Thor, Avengers Age of Boredom, Jessica Jones, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2, Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Man 3, Iron Man 2, I Am Groot, Marvel One-Shots, Fury's Big Week, Thor the Dark World, and The Incredible Hulk. Where would you like to put the Iron Fister?
Above Guardians. It was just a damn good watch.
Where would you really like to put it, though? I'd like this episode to be over now.
Below Thor the Dark World.
Well, here's what I was gonna say. So now we got to go to Rotten Tomatoes. Because I was gonna say, please, for the love of God, let's put this under The Incredible Hulk. Because at least that has something in it. Something happens. The Hulk has 3 rounds with the Abomination.
No, absolutely. The acting in the Hulk was what did it for me. So no.
Yeah, I feel like you're probably gonna win this Rotten Tomatoes too. All right. Incredible Hulk has a 69. Iron Fist Season 1. Rotten Tomato.
I was gonna ask you to look up the Rotten Tomato score of the show either way.
So somehow we're putting Iron Fist above Hulk because Iron Fist has 71%.
There's a lot of Marvel sheeple out there, I'll say that. Because there's no way 71% of people watched this and were like, that's a damn good watch.
Do you want to know what the critic score is?
12.
20. Hold on, let me just
Look, here's the thing. Like, if you just watch like the middle episodes, kind of, right? Like, it's actually not terrible. Like, I think I watched like 6 through 10 last night, and it was not bad. Not bad.
So, would you like just a fun little? I picked one of these audience members to read their review. Would you like me to read that for you?
Absolutely.
So he gave it a 1 out of 5 stars.
Maybe we should incorporate one funny review if possible from these shows.
You got it. Well, here's the 1 star. 1 out of 5. Terrible. Guy survives a horrible plane crash, studies martial arts for 10 years from monks in Kunlun, disciplined to the extreme, fights a dragon, earns the Iron Fist, and comes back, only to be made to look weak and childish, and then gives away the Iron Fist to a weak, truly mediocre fighter with a crap I hate men attitude. It's like a socialist feminist fantasy. Had such potential, but instead completely trashes the original iconic comic character. Terrible. Note to writers and directors, stop politicizing everything. It's destructive, not creative, just stop. You want to see the kind of people that are liking the show?
I would love to.
I am first. I thought season 1 is good. TV show. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Hope they make a season 3. Smiley face emoji with sunglasses.
That's a bot. That's a bot. That's Netflix's first pass at AI.
Loop bad. Constant nonsense. Terrible. Okay, I can read these all day. So let me assign your homework, and that's to watch WHIH season 1. A whole 10 minutes of news.
Ooh. So we can, I would say during the Defenders, once we plug our way through that, maybe we try to save some time at the end and we'll read a comment or a review from Jessica, Daredevil, and Luke Cage.
Or I'll tell you what, since we're going to need to pad some time for WHIH episodes, because we're going to have 2 of those.
That next.
We'll do that with the WHIH episodes.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I like the way you're thinking. This has been Marvel Cinematic University. Make sure you check us out on every podcast platform. Apparently not Stitcher, though. That one's going away. I got a notification today. That's where I watch all my podcasts. I'm going to have to find a new place for those. Also, buy my merch, our merch, in the store. You want some Blender Man? We'll give you some Blender Man. And don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us on all the Twitters and TikToks and the Instagrams. And yeah, take it away.
We should come up with an official Blender Man drink.